So many people have asked me about our own adoption journey and the route we went on, the direction that we took, because every adoption is different. I know that sounds cliche, but if you really think about it, I mean, whether you go through the surrogacy route, fostering, if you're a straight couple and you do the traditional method, I mean, all of it is different. And you are all putting yourself out there. You are vulnerable. You are you're subjecting yourself to heartbreak. And that is a given in any direction that you go in. So I want to talk about our own journey because it is World Adoption Month. November is very special. Not only did we finalize our third child's adoption this month, but adoption plays an integral role in making who we are as a family. And we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for adoption. And I've received countless emails about, exactly how we did what we have done. And I want to talk about that today. I'm going to open that door and let you know exactly what we did and what to expect. Every adoption is different. You always have to remember that. But I thought it was time to really dig in to how we did it. So let's talk about the details of our adoption.
My name is Eric. And if there's one thing that life has taught me, it's that everything happens for a reason. All the twists and turns and everywhere in between. This is Nola Papa, the story of a gay dad.
When we started out the journey in 2015, we started that serious dialogue about, what avenue we wanted to go on, the direction that we wanted to take, because there are different directions. Fostering is a way, and for me, I'm a fear-based person. I was really scared at that because we want a forever family. We don't want the chance. There's always a chance, but we didn't want a significant chance that the birth parents would want to take their child away. And that, I've heard a lot of stories, personally, I've heard a lot of stories about how that can happen in a fostering situation. For me, I felt like adoption was the way that we really needed to take a deeper look because, not to downplay surrogacy, but surrogacy is very expensive. It's like $100,000. And at the end of the day, we really had heart to heart, me and my husband. We're gonna love our child whether they technically have our blood or not. I mean, just because they don't have our eyes or, we're gonna love them regardless, the same amount. And, that is important to some people. And, if that's your jam, then go for it. It wasn't for us. There's, 200,000 children a year that go through the adoption process. 2 million adoptive families look for children to adopt. I mean, there are plenty of children to adopt, and we don't have to make our own. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I felt strongly and the direction of adoption, and that's the reason why we went that route. And each year that goes by, it gets more expensive. Not to put a stressor out there, but the difference from when we started out in 2015 until we just finished our third this year, actually this month. So it increased probably like $6,000. So I want each of you to think about your budget and how much you're able to actually spend, because I had no idea that adoption would be so expensive. Now, there are different ways to adopt. You know, you can go through the state. We wanted a baby. We wanted a newborn. And the likelihood of finding a newborn baby through the state, it's very slim. So we went with a private agency. And by going through a private agency, that makes the dollar amount significantly higher. And that's just par for the course. So in 2015, the going rate for an adoption was between $38,000 and $43,000, something like that. And this year, the going rate for an adoption using a private agency is between $40,000 and $47,000. So, you know, and it's usually the latter end. You know, that first number, 40 to 47, it's not probably going to be 40, because there's a lot of expenses that go into it. And you, just to be on the safe side of things, look at the other end of it, 47 rather than 40. And, you know, that's just the private agency. That's not the social worker that you have to pay. You know, you have to get your home study. And the home study is the study that you get when, you know, you make sure that your house is deemed safe for a child. And that runs $2,000 usually. And after the home study, then there's still, you know, the follow-up visits. And the follow-up visits adds up $600 more to that $2,000 fee. And then after that, the day of the finalization, there's also $150 more that's added on. And this is all for the social worker. Okay, the social worker plays an integral role in, you know, vouching for you as parents and the safety of that child that's going to be living in your home. You're going to get to know your social worker, and you're going to develop a relationship with her or him. And for us, we had the same social worker, Miss Fireball, every single child. Like all three. We had our same team. We had the same agency. The agency was Descolores, DESCOLORES, adoption agency in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And what's really special about our team, most of our team was adopted themselves. So they have a passion behind, you know, their occupation. You know, there's a drive. There's a driving force that they want to find suitable and loving homes for these babies. And, you know, Descolores, Debbie and Sandy, they were adopted. They are sweet as pie, and they, you know, are passionate about what they do. And we got set up with another feisty Fireball, our adoption attorney, who was also adopted, Lisa Harrell, an attorney here in New Orleans. She has a drive and a passion behind what she does. And that's, I feel like, how you really get results. When you can relate, when you are relatable, and you are able to empathize with these families, and you want to put this baby in this home, and you recognize that there is love there, that they will thrive. And when you thrive on an unconditional love, then there is no boundary to where you can go. And that is all about what we as a family live on. We feel like the diversity that each of us brings to the table plays an integral part in the development of our children's lives. And, you know, the kindness that we try to instill in our children and allow them to develop and to accept all walks of life, and starting out from an early age, that will grow unconditional love for the human race. I mean, maybe it's hard to say unconditional love for the human race, but love for the human race. I mean, you know, so there is, back to our drawing board we have going. You have to look at the amount of money that you have to work with. Now, an agency to adopt is more expensive. The state is not. So if you want to not spend as much, then maybe explore how much it would be for the state. I don't know what it would be. I am willing to bet that it would be significantly cheaper, but you're not most likely going to get a newborn baby. Now, when you foster, that also, from what I hear, is significantly cheaper, but there are, you know, circumstances that really can happen that will bring you to your knees. And I mean, you are developing this relationship with this baby, and, you know, depending on if you have other children, you know, the children are developing relationships with this baby. And, you know, if that parent comes back in the picture, then the baby could be gone. And then you start back at square one. You know, that can happen with adoption too. It happened twice with us almost. One of our adoptions was labeled a failed adoption. I mean, we really thought that it was over. And as it played out, it wasn't. And the birth mother came back, and we were blessed and lucky, and all of those adjectives that are along the same definition. I mean, we really, it almost did not happen with our first daughter. And then our second daughter, she seemed like she was gonna back out. And we were just like deer in headlights, because there's no control. You have no control. And, you know, all the money that you put into it, I mean, there's no guarantee. So if it does fall through, that's money gone, and you just have to start over. So there are risks involved, and you have to know what you're getting into. So you have to accept those risks. You have to come to peace with that. And as hard as it is, your hopes that you have for your future family, you have to suppress that. What I'm telling you is easier said than done, because the longer you go while your birth mother is pregnant, the more dreams that you have, whether you're awake or asleep. And it's impossible not to get your hopes up. So as long as you can keep your emotions in check and you daily have a reminder, you have to daily have a reminder that this could fall through at any moment. And as long as you do that, then if it does fall through, then it's still gonna hurt. You are going to cry. You are gonna feel defeated. But as long as you tell yourself each day that there's a possibility that it could not happen, then you have then you, I feel like, can bounce back easier. And if you are determined, and if you feel like that you are dead set on what you want, and that family is what you'll get, then if it does fall through, and if it is a failed adoption, then give yourself a minute and then pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Because we were ready to, the first go round, we were ready to pick ourselves back up. I was a soppy mess for days. I literally was grieving like someone had died. I mean, it's the brutal truth. And, days went by, and all of a sudden, a sharp right turn, and right when I was getting to the point of going back to work and we were gonna get back on that horse, then our birth mother came back around. So you just have to be resilient. You have to know what you want, and despite the heartbreak that can happen, have your sights on that end game. And yeah, all of this is nice and it's beautiful and everything, but keep the focus on that ending situation that you're wanting to go for, because that is what you're working towards. These daily events are things that can, render yourself to really overthink things. So don't focus on the here and now as much as the future. So, there's the risks, there's the money, and then, there's the hoops. I don't necessarily think it's too different for gay men. I mean, it is if you're wanting a Catholic agency, because that's not going to happen. So, do your Google searches. Reach out to people that that have adopted. And, if you don't know anyone and all you know is me, email me and I'll try my best to get back to you. And I will, let you pick my brain, and I'll let you know. This, basically, though, is what I would tell you in a YouTube episode. So just do your Google searches, do your research, because the more that you know, and the more you equip yourself with the knowledge that you can put behind your belt or under your belt, then the better you are to begin this journey. Because it is daunting, it is overwhelming. The amount of things that you have to accomplish in a little amount of time is mind-boggling. Like, I shit you not, the amount of paperwork that we had to do this last go round, can you see that? I'm not exaggerating. It's like 3 inches thick. And there's things you have to get notarized. There's things that you have to get certified. You have to take classes. And what was funny, our attorney told me, our social worker told me, don't start this A, B, and C yet, because if you do, then that's going to start the time window, and you'll have 30 days to finish everything. What'd I do? I started A, B, and C. So what happened? That started the time window. We hadn't even began the 3-inch amount of paperwork. And of course, I did something, or Douglas, one of us, started this paperwork that we could have left off A, B, and C and did D through Z, but no, we didn't. We did A, B, and C, so that started that time clock. And we had 30 days to get A through Z done. Okay, so listen to the advice that's given to you by your social worker, your adoption attorney, or your agency, because that will alleviate a lot of stress. You know, it was neat that we did do everything like bam, 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 bam. We were like machines on steroids, okay? So there are classes that you have to take. You have to make sure that your vehicle, you know, is deemed safe. You have to show the brake tag or the inspection sticker. I mean, like, you have to get all your background checks. All of this is money, okay? So I hate to go back to the dollar sign, but you know, your background check, federal, state, you know, both of those, I could be wrong here, and it could be different from state to state. But I want to say it was like $150 a person, like me, $150 for Douglas, for federal, and then I think it was maybe $75 to $100 for state. So I mean, it's like there's a lot of stuff to do in a little amount of time, and it has to be accurate. But there is a nuance. There is adrenaline that's pumping all the while. So although it sounds like a lot, your heart is going to be like beating out of your chest with excitement. So you're going to be able to get it done like boom. You just have to make sure that you find the right agency, that you find the right adoption attorney, that you find the right social worker that are all going to bat for you. They're all going to have your back, okay? Because if you feel like that there is hesitation, or if there's some kind of reservation, like I honestly legit felt like they all were 110% honest with us. Like, I know I could go and have a glass of wine with them on our balcony and laugh and cut up for an hour and a half. Like, that's that type of people, okay? I'm not saying that you are going to go have wine with these people or the people that you meet that are going to be on your team, but try to picture a relationship where you feel comfortable enough to where you could. That is where, you know, my heart felt like I could breathe. Like I felt like I could honestly do this. Because you're not doing it by yourself. You're doing it with your husband or your wife. You're doing it with this agency, the social worker, and the adoption attorney. That's your team. That is your crew. So, you know, at the end of the day, make sure that you have aligned yourself with people that have your back, that accept you for who you are, that there are no judgments. I can't stress that enough. I can't imagine working with someone where I felt like that, were they really doing their job? Like, it's taken a year for me to finalize. Like, has their communication... Now, and you know, things happen where communication isn't the best, and that's where you take the reins. You know, if you feel like that you haven't heard something in a timely manner, then you be that annoying person and you email or you call, or you text, and you try to get the answers that you're seeking. Because if you wait for someone else, and this is in life, like if you are wanting something to happen, make it happen, okay? Don't just sit there and wait for your phone call to ring because you haven't heard from any of these people. You call them. And then maybe like if there's a pattern that's starting where it's like you have to call every time, maybe bring it to their attention and be like, hey, look, you call me, you know, you be a fireball too. I'm a fireball. I'm feisty. And at times I'm too feisty. But guess what? I get things done. So, I wish with all of my heart that you are able to find the family that you're looking for, that you're longing for, that you dream for. Everything happens for a reason. Everyone in your life is brought into your life for a reason, whether it's a second season or a lifetime. These people are in or have been in your life for a reason. So just take time to meditate. Take time to pray if you pray. I prayed every day. You know, I'm not trying to like thump on a Bible here, but I prayed on my knees every day during all 3 of our journeys for our children. And that's, hand to God, I did. And I felt like that was a very important part of my daily meditation, was to let go of these expectations, like I was talking about before. Let go of, you know, all these, you know, here and now situations and circumstances, and just release it. And what will be, will be. I have chill bumps right now. And if I have chill bumps, that means I feel like that I'm saying something that may be something that you can use. What will be, will be. And at the end of the day, you will see. So, reach out if you need. It might take me a minute, but I promise I will get back. And if you like what I have to say, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And make sure you click that notification bell so you can be notified when I release new episodes. And then while you doing all these things, go to Instagram and follow our family's journey at NOLA Papa. And then go run on over to Facebook and like NOLA Papa there. It's all about our little community coming together. It's our little village. We're there are our cheerleaders. We rally around each other. There's no hate. I ain't got time for that shit. So you keep your head up and you keep your cheeks higher, and you will see, if you are diligent, you'll make it happen, I promise. NOLA love.